Okay, so now we have the rear wheel on, the chain and the master link are all in correctly. And so now the next step is to set the correct chain tension. And we actually looked up the spec, and you're anywhere from 58 to 61 millimeters, but then we found an update for the 2023 model that said just because of the relocation of the swing arm pivot in relation to the countershaft sprocket, they actually need to run around 63 millimeters. So we're going to measure that right from the back of the chain guide. Bring that. We've already set our caliper at the correct height, so we're just going to verify that. And how you can make sure that you end up with the correct tension and that you make sure that your alignment is correct. When you're doing this, there's a process to these steps. So first of all, you get your adjuster bolts out to where you just start to make the contact. And I've already gone ahead and made sure that I'm lined up on both sides. But I always count from the back of the swing arm. So you can see 1, 2, and then our alignment mark is just in front of the second mark on the swing arm. And if we verify that, it's the same on the other side. Okay, so now that those are the same, the next step is, oftentimes, guys I see getting behind the machine, and I'm just going to I'm going to step behind the machine to show you some of the things that you may see. One of the things you see guys do is they put their knee up on the wheel and they try and hold it in position while they're trying to tighten up the rear axle. But this is a very inefficient way to do this. A really quick way to get the axle up nice and tight against both the axle blocks and make sure it's nice and even while you're torquing that is just take an old rag. It's fine, one of your shop rags. I've folded up a couple times. Stick it inside the chain. This won't do any damage to the chain or the sprocket. But now you're going to use the chain for all the leverage. So we take the wheel and we roll it back. Now it's nice and tight. So now it's snugged up tight against both axle blocks evenly. And we verified the torque spec from our manual and set our torque wrench. And now that we have the tension on there, now we'll tighten that up. And just leave a little bit of pressure on the wheel as you do this. Once it's in position, okay, there's 60 foot-pounds. Once in position, now we roll the rag out. Our chain is set correctly. Sorry. And now the last step of this process, now that the axle block is tight up against the adjuster bolt, now we're going to tighten up the jam nut last. And I see guys sometimes tightening those up first once they think they have it set. But the best thing to do is load everything and then tighten it. Now you have a load on that bolt. And that's not to say that it won't move at all. You're still going to need to put a number 10 on here and a number 13 on here. Hold the 10 and crank the 13. But that's the last step of the process. So we're going to set the alignment. Then we put the rag, tighten it up. Then after it's all snug and everything's torqued, then our last step is to tighten the jam nuts.